Hey. Happy Thursday, everybody. How is everybody? Yay. It's almost 5 o'clock. Today we're going to talk about thyroid. If you have chronic fatigue, can't lose weight, regardless of where you are, what efforts you try to put into it, no matter how you try to exercise, no matter how you try to eat, you still can't lose weight. Mood swings, gut issues, constipation maybe, that bloating, belly bloat, etc. It could be your thyroid, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I get a lot of people who email me, or in my private Facebook group, we talk about thyroid. I get questions about thyroid. And I just thought it was something that we needed to address. Now, keep in mind, I am not a thyroid expert. I feel like there have been times where I've suffered from hypothyroidism or low thyroid. I feel like that more recently. I'm starting to see some signs for that, which led me to do my own research and to start digging into that a little bit more to see exactly what was causing that and what I could do to reverse it. Because I don't want to live with low thyroid, because it does cause chronic fatigue and that brain fog. And that was a lot of what I was experiencing, was just chronic fatigue, tiredness, no energy, the brain fog. I mean, just a lack of clarity where I literally would lose people's names, people who I know. I mean, my gosh, and I would forget their names. And I mean, I could see their face and I'm like, what the heck is their name? I can't remember. So all of that has just led me to start doing a little bit of digging myself. And so please don't think I'm an expert in this. All I'm doing is sharing some information with you that I have learned, again, because I get hit with quite a bit of messages with women asking about low thyroid, saying they have low thyroid, or even if they don't mention thyroid or that they have a history of it, they're exhibiting some symptoms of low thyroid. So that's why I wanted to address it and just pass on that information to you, because I thought it would help you as well. So for those of you who are new to my page, welcome. I'm Sam from Team Sam Fitness. I'm an RN, certified weight loss coach, personal trainer. To simply put it, I teach women over 40 specifically how to lose weight, how to keep it off, no more dieting. We've tried all of that. We've tried all of the junk and the fads, and we're really just ready to live a more healthier lifestyle so we can become more active, because society has us trained to not be as active and carry around our bag full of medicines as we get older. And that's simply not how it should be. We should still be active, if not more active than we were whenever we were younger. And that's the message, and that's my platform that I want to teach to you. So welcome. I'm glad you are here. Invite friends, share the video if you want, ask me questions, whatever we need to do. So let's get started in talking about your thyroid. So of course, your thyroid gland, it's a small gland in your neck. We know that. It's responsible. It has hormones that it releases, and it's responsible primarily for your metabolism. So when we think about metabolism, I want you to think about energy. What we think about metabolism as far as breaking down our food. So what happens is metabolism is literally where it converts the food that we eat into energy. So when we think about metabolism, think about energy. So when we think about thyroid controlling metabolism, think about thyroid controlling energy, okay? There's a lot that goes into that, okay? I mean, that's kind of the general summary of it. That's the A to the Z part. But what we've got to look at is all that in between, and why our thyroid gets low, why our thyroid gets high, or why our levels and our hormones are high or low. So we think thyroid, we think energy. So I want to give you some statistics that I have found on this. This is interesting. Research shows that 90% of low thyroid is autoimmune related. Autoimmune disease is Hashimoto's. That's a thyroid disease that you may hear of. Low thyroid or Hashimoto's affects 7 to 8% of the population. That's a lot of people. We don't think 7 to 8% is a lot, but that's a lot of people. Y'all, if y'all pop on, say hello so I'll know that you're here. Here's a big deal. Thyroid hormone replacement. So you know the ones, Armour, Synthroid, etc. Thyroid hormone replacement drugs are ranked the third most common prescription prescribed in the U.S. So that we're already looking at 7 to 8% of the population suffers from low thyroid that we know about. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about in another series, in another video, because I can't cover all this in one video, is that 7 to 8%, that's the people we know about. But a lot of times, again, people are exhibiting signs of low thyroid where their numbers may be normal, but all they know is they feel like crap. All they know is they have no energy, or their bowels are messed up, or they have that brain fog and lack of clarity. And maybe they've been to the doctor 100 times and nobody can find out the reason what's going on, or they try to, point it back in another direction. So that 7 to 8% is only people we know about. I bet it's a lot more than that. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more than that. So anyway, so today we're specifically going to talk about low thyroid. So again, whenever you think about thyroid, think about metabolism, think about energy. Thyroid and energy go hand in hand, okay? Think about your thyroid as the gas pedal. So whenever it's revved up and you're pushing down hard on that gas pedal, it's releasing more of those thyroid hormones, and we'll talk about that again later. It's releasing more of those thyroid hormones. So if the pedal's to the metal, y'all, and again, we're thinking thyroid and energy go hand in hand, that means your body's going to be revved up. That's whenever your jitters come in, high anxiety, high heart rate, sweaty palms, can't sit still. You may have insomnia, a lot of sweating, and even diarrhea. Because if your metabolism is geared up, the gas pedal is all the way, everything in your body is also going to be sped up. Okay? So now let's think of the opposite of that. If we've backed off of the gas pedal and we're driving, 20 miles an hour in a 70 mile per hour highway, okay? So if we're driving slow, we're not putting much pressure on that gas pedal. It's the exact opposite, and everything else is going to be slowed down as well. So let's think of the opposites. That's where that low energy comes in. You may want to sleep all the time, just that chronic fatigue, constipation, and again, because everything is slowed down, you may gain weight because, again, thyroid energy, metabolism is slow. Okay, so does that make sense? Y'all let me know. Hey, Darlene. Yay, I'm glad I could see you. I was kind of worried I wouldn't be able to see those comments. Okay, good. So yeah, y'all, pipe in. If anybody else pops on, y'all say hi so I'll know that you're there. Give me a thumbs up or something so you can hear me. Okay, so today we're specifically going to talk about low thyroid. So we hit the statistics that 90% of low thyroid can be traced back to autoimmune. Okay, so what does that mean? What does an autoimmune disorder mean exactly? And how does it work with low thyroid? Okay, so when something works against your body, fights against your body, okay, it causes the immune system to respond. So now it's an autoimmune response where literally your body's immune system is attacking and destroying healthy cells. It's attacking and destroying itself. That's where the autoimmune comes in. So if 90% of low thyroid or Hashimoto's disease points back to autoimmune, then what's causing the autoimmune response? What's causing or what's triggering your body to attack itself? Okay, so if you've watched my lives before, we've talked more about autoimmune. We've talked about inflammatory diseases. We've talked about the word cytokine. It's C-Y-T-O-K-I-N-E, cytokine. Okay, so that's the main hormone that's called in. Okay, so when something triggers your immune response, it calls in cytokine. Red flags, red horns are blowing. It's calling in cytokine to call the army in, okay? So whatever triggers the autoimmune response, cytokine is released. Your body starts working against itself because it feels like and it thinks that it's got foreign invaders. It feels like it's got foreign invaders attacking it. So all it knows is it's got to signal cytokine, call in the army to start the immune system, to start war, okay, to start the battle, because something's going on inside the body and it knows it has to protect itself. Your body's doing what it's supposed to do. It's protecting itself against the against the attack. But the problem is it's not really an attack at all. Autoimmune. But something's triggering the attack, okay? Y'all reading me so far? Y'all let me know if you have any questions. This is really informal, so y'all just stop me if you have any questions, if you think of anything. Or if something rings a bell and you don't understand, raise your hand. Again, I may or may not can answer you, but I will try. Okay, so if you've got a trigger, calls in the army, inflammation starts happening, your body attacks itself. Well, specifically in low thyroid, that attack is against your thyroid gland, okay? That attack is specifically against your thyroid gland. Your thyroid is a healthy tissue. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But you got a trigger. You got something happening that's causing the immune system to now fight it off and to fight against it. When that happens, your thyroid gland slows down its production of those hormones that we need for metabolism and energy. Y'all get that? Y'all get that? All right, so let me say that again. Your thyroid is healthy tissue, because as long as it's, it is healthy tissue, because there are diseases of the thyroid, there's thyroid cancers, etc. But as long as your thyroid is healthy, something triggers the immune response in your body. Inflammation happens, cytokine is called in, the immune system army is called into battle, and it goes to war against your thyroid. It sees it as something's wrong with it. It's doing its job, and it's trying to protect itself. But what happens when that immune system, that response is related to your thyroid, it slows down the production of the thyroid hormones that control metabolism and control what else? Simultaneously, energy. Okay? So with that, you have to determine what are your triggers. And here are some main triggers that calls in the army, okay, that calls in the immune system. Here's the first one, y'all. Stress. So y'all raise your hand and let me know if any of these ring a bell to you. So main triggers, okay, that call in the army against the thyroid: stress, food, okay, nutritional deficiency. So if you are vitamin deficient in certain vitamins, and we'll talk about that later. So stress, food, nutrient deficiencies, gut health. You got a bad gut, unhealthy, imbalanced gut, estrogen imbalances. That's a biggie as we get older, because our estrogen production slows down, okay? And you got a lot of stuff going on with that. So estrogen imbalances. And the last one is environmental exposures, okay? That again is, are you a smoker? Just toxins in our food. Simple toxins, on our produce. That's why I've started really paying attention to my produce and trying to wash it. That is the environmental exposures that we're talking about. Okay, so to recap, 90% of thyroid disorders can be traced back to autoimmune. Autoimmune happens whenever you have a certain trigger that calls in your immune system to start a battle. It thinks there's something going on. Your immune system is doing its job and starts attacking whatever the problem is. The problem, though, is that it's attacking healthy tissue. It's attacking your own body. It's attacking itself. Okay? Whenever it attacks your thyroid, it causes that production of the hormones that you need, that your thyroid is responsible for. It causes a reduction in those hormones that are responsible for your metabolism and therefore your energy. which is going to cause all of those symptoms to happen. That's why it's kind of hard to diagnose sometimes, is because it can mask other things. Okay, so some of your triggers, these are the top triggers that wake up the immune system or try to get it to start attacking, okay? Stress, foods, nutritional deficiencies, gut health, estrogen imbalances, and environmental exposures. All right, any questions so far? That's all I'm going to hit on today, because I really want you to start wrapping your head around why it happens to begin with. You know, I'm the type of person, I have to know the why and have to know the logic behind it for me to understand it. So we're going to break this down into 2 to 3 videos, and start with the first thing that's happening. What happens to begin with, and why does it happen? And I think that's going to be instrumental and foundational in you really understanding as we progress on how you can reverse, and yes, you can reverse some of those symptoms, because it's the immune system is what's doing it, and you got triggers that are causing the immune system to do it. Then it makes sense that if we knew what the triggers were, and then we knew how to pull back on those triggers, it would make sense. Then therefore the autoimmune or the immune response wouldn't happen. Y'all get that? So yes, your symptoms can be reversed, okay? But knowing your triggers and knowing why it happens is important. So that's the homework I'm going to leave you with, is that I want you to think about those triggers, and I want you to think about which ones could be causing your problems. You know, start writing things down. I'm a big advocate of journaling and writing things down. So as you eat something, if you start feeling a certain way, write it down. Write what time you ate it, write what you ate, and write how you felt afterwards. Because that only helps me coach you better, and that's only going to point you in a better direction of really finding out the root cause of some problems. So start writing things down. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to some of these symptoms and see if you're noticing a connection anywhere. So start paying attention to your triggers, and that's your homework, is I want you to think about what your triggers could be out of those that I listed. Your second part of your homework is I want you to join our Facebook group. It's Women Over 40 Look Great, Feel Great. It is a nice little growing society and group of women, and we're all just alike. We struggle. We battle the same problems, and we're just there to share and to commiserate with each other and talk about our hot flashes and ask questions. It's just a safe place for us to ask questions. And we can get a little bit more personal over there, you know, as opposed to a public page. So I encourage you and I invite you to join us over there. If you haven't already, you can find us. Just search Women Over 40 Look Great, Feel Great. If you have any questions, post on here. If you're catching the replay, ask me questions and I'll come back to it. Join the group. We'll dig a little bit deeper over there if we have to. In part 2 of this series, we're going to go into more detail about your triggers. And we're going to take each of those triggers and find out why it could be causing the immune response and what exactly happens to cause that immune response to happen. All righty. Thanks for getting on, y'all. I appreciate your time, and I hope you learned something out of it. We'll talk again.